All right, last day down here. We're gonna go ahead and put some grass seed in the spreader. I'm gonna take the 220 down here, pull down these piles of rebar and concrete so they're not sticking up out of the water. They shouldn't be right now, but we want them to be covered a little bit more than that. They're pretty tall. Get that done. Robert should have all the grass seed put out. We'll go ahead and start putting straw out. We're just gonna do the front side of the dam and a little bit up on top just to kind of slow down the erosion. Then they'll come in here with their tractors and seed drills and drill everything else. That way the seed gets put down in the ground, probably run over what we did as well. But trying to get a little bit of straw just so that front edge of the dam does not erode. Don't let that thing get away from you. That's my very first tractor. I love that thing. Grinding my gears. Put a couple bags of grass seed in there. We'll put that out. So that worked out pretty good. Just kind of take it, break it down a little bit, pat down all the tall strands of rebar just so if they ever put a John boat out here, nothing gets hung up in a prop. It is about 8 to 9 feet deep right here, so I try to put all this stuff in towards the deeper section just so it does have some cover over top of it. These out. We'll go ahead and put some straw out before it gets too hot. Get that done, then we'll have to start walking equipment out where we can load it out. It's going to be probably a couple weeks before I move the excavators and stuff to the. We got to go look at the next big pond job so you can get a game plan on it. We got a few smaller jobs we got to knock out between now and then. Been patiently waiting for me to do a few little things. So I'll get that done before I get started on the next big job, because once I start a big job I really like to kind of stay there. A lot of times you have to, because you've got so much equipment there that it's just not practical to move it away. Get in and get done with it. All right, I'm gonna go push that other pile down and we'll be ready to drive the truck down here then. We got some visitors. Well, was able to get straw all the way across the whole front face of the pond dam, and ended up working out better for Robert just to drive the truck and me feed the blower there. Just by the time you pull the truck forward, get out, blow one bale, 2 bales, you have to get back in, and that's a lot of work climbing up and down 150 times it feels like. So we just opted to go that route, and it only took about an hour to put out 75 bales. So had a little bit extra, so we went ahead and just put it down this edge right here. All right, now we get to clean some equipment up, start tracking it out of here. Well, all the seeding is done. Now it's time to shovel all the tracks off. We like to clean all the undercarriages off on all the track equipment before we move it, just so nothing bounces off going down the road. And it's a good maintenance thing. I don't do it every day like some people say. It's just a lot of work to shovel that out, and then you drive it in the pond the next day, and 5 minutes it's packed full again. So we tend to just clean the equipment off at the end of the job. And that is a wrap. We are all loaded up, ready to head out of here. We got the tractor and the Komatsu on there. I got the skid steer, the blower, and the ruckus rake on there. It's been an honor to do another project for this customer. Done a lot of work for him in the past. This one right here might be one of my favorite ponds. So if you remember, this has actually been a 2-phase project. About 1.5 years, 2 years ago, came in here, cleared out around this old pond right here, piled everything up, burned it. Then we got pulled off on some other projects. Ended up coming back this year, came in here, dredged that pond out. We stripped the field off, hauled about 350 loads up there. And where the water is right there used to be where that pond ended. Dug all this out right here. Ended up putting like another 700 or 800 loads back there in the pond dam, and on the back side back there. Ended up being somewhere around 22,000 yards of dirt we moved. So all in all, I'm very happy with the way everything turned out. It ranges from about 4 feet, 4.5 feet up there, down to a good 6 or so, and then all this is about 9 all the way down where all that fish structure is. The reason we just go that deep is that's plenty deep for our area, and as flat as it is thousands and thousands of yards of dirt to go down every foot deeper. So I haven't done the math, but it's like 10,000 yards a foot or something like that. It's a lot. So it adds a huge expense, and you really don't gain a whole lot, because once the pond's full, you can't tell if it's 5 feet deep or 50 feet deep. Look at the turtle right there on that tire. So yep, was able to get this fish structure in here. So we got a lot of stuff for there. Got some good grass growing in there that'll probably come on up before this thing fills up. It just really depends on the weather. And then this was the existing pond dam. We cut the top off of it and raised it up about 3 feet or so. And then all this is new. That's where that other ditch was, filled all that in, wrapped it all the way around to that field back up there. The spillway is over there, pretty much where it ties back in. It's about 1 foot higher than the water level. So if for some reason it ever overfills, which is a lot because I put a 24-inch pipe in here, it'll have to fill this pond up an extra foot before it starts going out, and that is a lot of water. And then we came in here, we put, I think it ended up being 45 loads of topsoil we stockpiled, put that around on the edges, and then put it back on top once we were done. Came in here and seeded and strawed the front edge to prevent hopefully any erosion. They're going to come in here with all their tractors and seed drill all this. 4x4 riser box with a 24-inch pipe going out. And I put 2 of those hog mats down there, slats for a dissipator pad on that. So we pretty much doubled the size of that original pond, because you can see where the edge of that dirt is all the way out here. It's pretty much where that ended. We took the island out and pulled all that back. So a lot of work's been done here, but this is definitely going to be a beautiful place when it fills up. I will definitely be back for that one, and have to come back anyways. He wants that whole corner over there cleared. It's like 4 or 5 acres, so probably save that for a wintertime project when it's too wet to do dirt work. So we're gonna head on out of here and hopefully go get started on another big pond. And one more thing, I found my gloves I was looking for. Kicked them off the trailer right over here. And a look from this side looking back. So with all that extra dirt, we made the dam plenty wide, so there's absolutely no problem being able to run. I think they have a 15 or 18 foot batwing bush hog. They can run that down here and keep everything nice and mowed. Hope y'all enjoyed watching it. It's been a fun project.